I think the first thing I think about a cyclist is their posture. So their posture on the bike, they've got flexed hips, so their hip flexors are tight, and then they've got this C-shaped spine, and then they've got reclination or extension of the neck, an arch in the neck if you're looking at a cyclist side on. So what we're already seeing is these different pulls on the body, and it's creating this posture. So what we want to do is we want to lengthen out the spine for one. That's really important. So increasing the distance between the crown, which is the top of the head, and the tailbone, making that nice, even length, not having these big curvatures between the crown and the tailbone. That would be one. The other thing is if we don't get that, then the diaphragm doesn't fire correctly and optimally. So that means we don't get that effect of the intra-abdominal pressure, okay, which is that balloon type effect inside the abdominal wall, expanding. Now, when we get that length of the spine and when we get that pressure and that balloon type effect inside the abdominal wall, what most, if not all, cyclists report is greater pedal power, greater push through the pedals. So that's one way that we can influence posture to create a performance effect. Other things that we do within the TriVelo strength and conditioning program is we also address releasing full body. So areas that we know that you're going to be tight in, we've got postures that allow you to release those areas. We work specifically with the core and breathing and how that can improve yourself on the bike. And then we talk a lot about knee tracking and alignment. And that's also really important for runners, not just for cyclists.
When you look at that fixed position on the bike and you're talking about the diaphragm, the spine being shortened, and so therefore the diaphragm being compressed, you would say, the massive negative of that is also your ability to breathe properly, right?
Definitely. And I think really important is we just want to be able to breathe through the nose as much as possible. It also depends upon the intensity of what we're doing, but breathing in through the nose rather than breathing through the mouth. Nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. It's an easy one to remember. So we want to do that as much as we can. And then we also, as you said, George, we want to be breathing as efficiently as possible because we all breathe between 17,000 and 25,000 times a day. So I think if we can improve how we take one breath and do that over the course of the day, it's going to have a great impact on our energy and how we feel and how we perform.
So, George, when I look at the elite, let's just take triathletes or cyclists. They make the activity, they make it look easy, and then you can immediately see the elite cyclist who's about to drop off, say, the pack. Let's just take the Giro, for example. You look at Yates attacking. He looks free. He's flowing. He's fluid movement. His body's in sync. You would say that's an example of someone who's got really good core stability and functionality of their pedaling action. And you look at the guy who's about to drop off or get dropped. His cadence becomes harder. His pedaling technique, everything, his form is falling apart. They're examples of what I think you're talking about. And for whatever reason, they're fatiguing. If they went back to the basics like we're talking about, it is going to prolong the chance of you becoming that cyclist who gets dropped off. There's a whole lot of other things that are important. It could be to do with nutrition. It could be to do with your fitness level. There's never one thing. But certainly if you have a relaxed body, and I keep looking at the way Yates attacked the pink jersey and rode away, it just looked effortless. And that's kind of what we're aspiring to, is to make our functionality of our cycling or running or swimming. It is not just a vision. It is actually a true story that the more effortless you make it, the less fatiguing you're going to make because you're not fighting with yourself.
Yeah, and it's really not a matter of, let's say you're riding, Jerry, and you've got this bracing strategy, and then I just tell you to relax. You're going to say, I can't. So it's actually something that needs to be trained off the bike. Okay. needs to be trained in an environment where we can give complete attention to the breath, to stability, and then we work on challenging that movement. So let's say you're lying on your back, and I say lift your legs up one at a time. So you're in a lying squat position with your legs up towards the ceiling and hands up towards the ceiling. Now, that already is going to be super challenging for most people to do without tensing their abdominals. But if you get to the point where you can start to relax those abdominals, then we say, let's roll onto one side. So you're supporting through one, like your right hip, right shoulder, and you're on your right side, and the left shoulder, left hip's off the floor. So you're rolling. Can you do that without bracing? So there's different ways of increasing the challenge to our body off the bike, where we're saying, okay, no matter what the challenge, is your habit that strong, your new habit that strong, where you can maintain that relaxation despite how challenging the specific task is. And for the moment, we're talking about the bike, but it can be anything. It can be you running, you swimming, it can be your gym training, whatever it is you're doing, that's a specific task. So can you maintain that relaxation based on the task?